Have you ever wondered if starting poultry farming with just 100 chicks is really worth it? Well, today I'm going to tell you the complete story of my very first flock of 100 chicks. I will share everything, the excitement, the mistakes I made, the chicks I lost, the money I spent, the profit I made, and the lessons that completely changed the way I farm today. Make sure you watch until the end. Welcome back to Esther Farm. If you are new here, this channel is all about practical poultry farming, honest farming experiences, and tips that help both beginners and experienced farmers. If that is the kind of content you enjoy, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Now let's go back to the day everything began. Like many beginners, I was excited and a little nervous. I had watched countless videos, read articles, and asked experienced farmers for advice. Everything looked easy on paper, but I quickly discovered that poultry farming is very different when you are the one responsible for every single chick. After saving enough money, I decided to start with 100-day-old chicks. I felt that this was a good number, not too small and not too large. It would allow me to learn while limiting the financial risk if things didn't go as planned. Before the chicks arrived, I spent several days preparing the brooder. I cleaned the house thoroughly, disinfected the floor and equipment, spread fresh beddings, and made sure the feeders and drinkers were ready. One thing I had learned was that preparation is just as important as feeding. A poorly prepared brooder can lead to diseases, stress, and even high mortality within the first week. I also made sure that I had chick mash, clean water, glucose, vitamins, and a reliable heat source ready before the chicks arrived. Many beginners make this mistake of buying chicks first and preparing later, but by then it may already be too late. The day finally came. I remember feeling both excited and anxious as I collected the chicks. Hearing their tiny chips for the first time made me realize that I was now fully responsible for keeping 100 little lives alive. When I released them into the brooder, they immediately started exploring. Some lashed to the feeders, while others searched for warmth under the heat source. Watching them settle in was one of the most satisfying moments of my farming journey. Let me tell you, for the first few hours, everything seemed perfect. I honestly believed the hardest part was over, but I couldn't have been more wrong. Within the next few days, I would begin facing challenges that no YouTube video had fully prepared for me for. Small mistakes started adding up, and before long, I experienced my first losses. Those moments taught me lessons that no classroom ever could. So, in the next part, I will show you exactly what happened during the first week, the mistakes I made, why I lost some chicks, and what every beginner should do differently to avoid the same problems. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. We'll cover the first week with the chicks, common beginner mistakes, early chick losses, brooding management, vaccinations, and the lessons learned from those difficult first days. Now, the first week with my 100 chicks was probably the most stressful week of my entire poultry farming journey. Before I started, I thought all I had to do was provide food and water. But I quickly realized that raising day-old chicks requires constant attention. So every morning I woke up early to check on them before doing anything else. The first thing I looked at was the brooder temperature. Chicks cannot regulate their own body temperature, so if it is too cold, they huddle together and risk suffocating one another. If it is too hot, they spread out, pant, and become weak. One lesson I learned very quickly was to watch the chicks instead of relying only on a thermometer. Their behavior tells you everything. When they gathered comfortably around the brooder and moved around actively, I knew the temperature was just right. Another important routine was making sure they always had clean and fresh water. Young chicks drink more often than many beginners expect, and dirty water can easily become a source of disease. I cleaned and refilled the drinkers several times a day because I wanted to give them the best possible start. Feeding also became a daily routine that required discipline. I used quality chick mash and made sure every chick had access to feed. Sometimes the stronger chicks pushed the smaller ones away, so I learned to spread the feeders around the brooder to stop overcrowding. Despite all my preparations, things didn't go perfectly. A few days after bringing the chicks home, I noticed that some looked weak. They weren't eating as much as the others, and they spent more time sitting quietly instead of running around. At first, I thought they were simply tired from transportation. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Within a short time, I experienced my first chick losses. Seeing those tiny chicks die was heartbreaking. As a beginner, I started questioning myself. Was the temperature wrong? Was the feed poor quality? Did I make a mistake with hygiene? Could I have prevented it? Those questions stayed in my mind for days. Instead of giving up, I decided to learn from every mistake. I spoke with experienced poultry farmers, watched more educational videos, and carefully observed my remaining chicks every single day. One piece of advice that changed everything was this: prevention is always cheaper than treatment. From that point on, I became much stricter about cleanliness. I cleaned the drinkers every day, removed wet beddings immediately, and made sure fresh air entered the brooder without exposing the chicks to cold drafts. I also followed the recommended vaccination schedule and provided vitamins whenever necessary to reduce stress, especially after transportation or vaccinations. As the days passed, the surviving chicks became stronger, their feathers started developing, they became more active, and they began eating much more feed than during the first few days. Watching them recover gave me hope. Although losing chicks was painful, those losses taught me lessons that have helped me improve every flock I have raised since then. Looking back today, I don't see those losses as complete failure. I see them as part of my education in poultry farming. Every experienced farmer has a story of mistakes, challenges, and lessons. The important thing is learning from them and becoming better. By the end of the first week, I finally felt more confident. But I had no idea that the next stage of raising the flock would bring a completely different set of challenges: high feed costs, faster growth, and the pleasure of keeping all the birds healthy until market day. And that's exactly what I will share in the next part. After surviving the first week, I finally felt that I had overcome the hardest part. Most of the chicks were active, eating well, and growing every day. Seeing their tiny yellow feathers slowly change into full plumage was exciting because it showed that all the hard work was paying off. But as the birds grew, I discovered another challenge that every poultry farmer talks about: feed consumption. When the chicks were young, a bag of feed seemed to last for quite a while. As they became bigger, it felt like I was feeding the feeders every few hours. I suddenly understood why experienced farmers always say that feed is the biggest cost in poultry farming. Every trip to buy feed made me calculate my expenses over and over again. I started asking myself questions like, will I make a profit and I am spending too much? This is where good record keeping becomes very important. I began writing down every expense, no matter how small. I recorded the cost of chicks, feed, vaccines, vitamins, disinfectants, beddings, transport, and any other supplies I bought. At first, I thought writing everything down was unnecessary, but later I realized that without proper records, it is impossible to know whether your poultry business is actually making money. As the weeks went by, the birds became stronger and more energetic. Every morning I checked their feeders and drinkers, cleaned the poultry house, removed wet litter, and observed the flock carefully. One thing I learned was that healthy birds behave almost the same way. They eat with energy, they move aloud actively, and respond quickly when someone enters the poultry house. Whenever I noticed one bird sitting alone, or refusing to eat, or looking weak, I separated it immediately for closer observation. That simple habit helped reduce the risk of disease spreading through the flock. Cleanliness also became one of my biggest priorities. I kept replacing wet beddings because damp litter can lead to bad smells, disease, and poor growth. Good ventilation was equally important. Fresh air helped keep the birds comfortable without exposing them to cold or weeds. Another lesson I learned was not to panic every time something looked unusual. As a beginner, every little challenge made me think the entire flock was about to become sick. With time, I learned to stay calm, observe carefully, and seek advice before making decisions. There were still a few setbacks along the way. Not every bird grew at the same rate, and I lost a few more birds during the growing period. It was disappointing, but I had already accepted that farming comes with risks. What mattered most was reducing those risks through better management. Now friends and neighbors who visited the farm started asking when the birds would be ready for sale. And hearing those questions made me excited because market day was getting closer. And for the first time, I began imagining what it would feel like to recover my investment and hopefully make a profit. But selling chickens isn't always as easy as many people think. Finding customers, negotiating prices, and calculating your actual earnings can be just as challenging as raising the birds. Now let us come to the next part of selling the birds. Did I make a profit? Let's see. After weeks of hard work, every morning's cleanings, feedings, and constantly checking on my flock, the day I had been waiting for finally arrived. It was time to sell my chickens. I won't lie, I was excited. For the first time, I was about to find out whether all the effort and money I had invested would actually pay off. But to be sincere, by the end of the 4th month, I had lost 60 chickens. And that was a big number. And definitely that was a loss. But the few chickens left, I sold them, but I didn't make profit, but losses. But that was not the end of Esther Farm. I went ahead and bought more chicks and raised them. But at this time, I had a bit of experience, so I didn't make losses. So if you are watching this video and you lose your chickens, don't give up. Start again and move on. But don't ignore these 5 lessons. The first one is preparation is everything. Cleanliness saves lives. Keep proper records. Don't ignore small problems. And the last one, never stop learning. Every successful farmer started somewhere. My first 100 chicks were far from perfect, but they gave me the confidence to continue. Without that first flock, I wouldn't have gained the knowledge I have today. So, if you are thinking about starting poultry farming, don't be afraid to begin. Start with a number you can comfortably manage, learn as you go, and improve with every flock. You may make mistakes, but don't let those mistakes stop you. Instead, let them become lessons that make you a better farmer. I hope my story has encouraged you and helped you understand what's really like to raise your first 100 chicks, from the excitement of bringing them home to the challenges of keeping them healthy, and finally to the satisfaction of selling them. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Esther Farm, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future videos on poultry farming, farm management, and practical tips for beginners. Until next time, keep learning, keep farming, and may your next flock be healthier, stronger, and even more profitable. See you in the next video.